Right. So this is where we have left last time. So we discuss until the ninth question, right? Yeah. So yeah. Can you confirm me whether we discuss nine or do we have to start it from nine? I don't really get uh, whether we discuss about this diagram or not. We have to start from nine. Okay, Lalili. Right. Okay, so 9 is about consider the given diagram, given example for each hardware application software and liveware. So this is something very similar to the diagram that you are getting in your textbook to explain how the operating system is related with the other components, right? So they have asked what are the examples of application software and library, right? So yes, so it's easy. When it comes to the hardware, you can name any of the hardware, right? So starting from mouse, keyboard, monitor, right? System unit, printer, like there are various kind of things, right? Even inside the things inside the system unit, RAM, hard disk, motherboard, everything is known as the hardware. So you can name any of those, right? So let's refer the marking scheme as well, right? It will be much easier. Yeah, so what marking scheme says, yeah, this is what marking scheme says. So you can name any of the hardwares, like I said, starting from mouse, keyboard, so any similar device or component. So for the application software, be careful. You have to name an application software. Just don't write the generic names uh, don't go for word processing softwares. So those are generic names, right? So you have to say MS Word, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Access, Photoshop, right? GIMP, Jito, right? Those kind of things. Like we have learned numerous number of application softwares, and you can name any of those. So then the liveware is the person who is using the computer system, right? So it can be user, can be people, student, teacher, or any similar answer, something like that, right? So each and every correct answer is having zero point 0.5 marks. So 1.5 will be given as the total. Right. When it comes to the hardware, right? So we can. Sorry, hold on. The second part. I was thinking about the single part. Yeah, the second part. They're asking what is the component that is matched with the letter X over here. So like you can see the component X has the connection with each and every part. Neither. They're not connected. These two are connected, as well as this place is connected. So the component or the software that is connected with hardware, application software, as well as liveware, that means us, is the operating system. So without a doubt, X is going to be the operating system, right? So for that, you will be given 0.5 marks. All right. Then here they have given some alternative answers as well, like system softwares, utility softwares, and language translators such. But the most suitable one is operating system, right? Because yeah, sometimes there are ways which the other components are not very much goes with all three components, but it's the operating system is the best answer for that. Okay, so the 10th part is talking about a hand tracing, right, regarding Pascal code. So we have to hand trace it and see how it happens. So this is regarding an arrays, right? So you know, var is used to indicate that this is going to be a variable, and num is the name of the variable. That can be anything, right? Like x, y, abc, right? Anything, but it should goes with the what the rules which we are going to define, which we used to define a variable in Pascal. So I'll remind the rules as well when you are naming a variable. So if the variable is having several characters, the very first character should be a letter. Either it should be capital A to Z or simple A to Z, right? So after the first character, rest of the characters can be capital A to Z, simple A to Z, 0 to 9 numbers, as well as you can use the underscore, right? So this is the naming rules of a variable when it comes to the Pascal, and this differs from language to language, right? If you are doing it, if you are doing the A level for the, if you are doing ICT for the A level, you will find a language called Python when it comes to the A levels. So you will find different naming rules, something little bit similar, but not almost, not, it is almost similar, but there are differences. Sorry. And from the word array, it defines colon and the array, it defines, we are going to use a one, or like we are going to define a variable which is in array type of an variable, because array type of a variable means it's a different kind of things, because like normally the variables can contain only one value inside it, but when it comes to the array we can have series of values, right? Like it's like a, I told you, it's like a drawer with lot of compartments. Like the normal variables are just one drawer, so it has just one compartment. uh, Array is something like a drawer with lot of compartments, so each and every compartment can hold a value, right? And when it comes to the Pascal, the array of the Pascal is belongs to one particular data type. So like if it says integer, like it defines here, only the integer values can be stored in those components, right? If it says boolean, only the boolean value can be stored, right? If it says string, only the string values can be stored in the compartments. So in here, it says the array 0.4. Now, what do you mean by 0.4? It's going to be an array. So in the memory, this particular thing will happen. So they will name this as num, label it as num. And 0 to 4 means there are indexes starting from 0 to 4. Indexes means what? Now, if we think about that drawer, the drawer compartments are being labeled. So 0 to 4 are the label numbers. So this will be divided into 5 different slots of the compartments. So those will be named as 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 defines by the defines by the programmer when he's initializing, or like when he's saying very initially about the array. So that indexes can be changed. Like you can say 1.3. So your indexes will start from 1, goes up to 3. So if it is 1.3, this means it's 1 comma 2 comma 3, or like the array is going to named as with 3 indexes, 1, 2 and 3, like 3 compartments in the drawer. So likewise we can change the how the indexes are being given. Excuse me. Okay, so this is what is happening from the very first line of the program. Then it says begin. So it starts. Then it says num0 colon equal 15. This means 15 should be assigned to the num0 position. So num means the name of the array. 0 is the position. Right? So 0 is the position. So 0, num0 is filled with 15 means num0th position, the empty slot, should be filled with a 15. Right? So it will, that particular position will assign with a 15. And num2 with 18. So 2 is this is the position, or the index is filled with 18. And num4, this is the 4th position, and it is filled with 50 as it says. So they are asked to assign. Colon equal is the assignment operator that we use in Pascal, right? And num1, they are asked to assign the value to num1 is which is generated, or which is calculated with num4 plus 10. So num4 means 50, 50 plus 10 means 60. So 60 will be assigned to the first place of the num. So that's why num1 it says. So 60 will be assigned to this place. And num3 is going to assign with num0 plus num2. So num0 is 15, num2 is 18. So 15 plus 18, it's going to be 33. Right, so from this part of your code, the array will get filled with the values. The rest of the parts is about a for loop. So for loop, we know we name a for loop as a counting loop, right? And there are two different ways of for loop, which is an incremental way of for loop, where we use in this particular nature, and there is a decremental nature as well, right? So if we say for I colon equal 1 down to like when it comes to down to, it's better you start it from some bigger number, like 10 down to 1 means that particular for loop is going to count the particular variable from 10 to 1, 10, 9, 8, 7, likewise. Now in here, this is an incremental for loop, which is going to count the variable I from 1 to 4, right? Okay. So I is starting from 1 to 4, right? So per each iteration, i's value, right, variable i's value is going to increase 1 by 1. So the very first time I is going to be 1. So for the very first time, it says for I equals 1 to 4 do, so it comes inside, and there is a statement called write ln num I. Now this I represents 1 in this particular moment. So in other words, it says write ln num1. So num1 means the program is going to output the value which belongs to the num1. So num1 means what? This. So the value is going to be 60. So you are going to write a 60 as the output. And people remember, it is write ln. So what's the nature of write ln? It prints a value and move the cursor to the next line. So that means if you are going to execute it again, the next value will be below the previous value, right? Not at the right side of the value, but the below. If you just if you could find only right will print it to the right side, right? So the first value will be there, right side of it, second value will be there, and the right side of it, third value will be there, and will be continued likewise. So here the number 160 will be printed. So it's the only statement which belongs to before, and it will goes back again and will increase the value of I. So now previously I was 1, and let me put this as the output. When the i's value is 1, it was 60. Now it goes up, increase I by 1, so i's value is 2. So it says write ln num2. Num2 means 18, because the second position holds the value 18. Then again goes up, and i's value will be increased, so it will become 3. So num3 is become 33. So 33 will be printed, and if it goes again, and this will become 4, right? I will become 4. So it is asking you to print num4. So it will print 50 right over here, right? So your output is going to be 60, 18, 33, and 50, one after the other, right? So be very careful, because I'll show you the marking scheme. See, it says the answer should be like this. And if it goes like this, like in the horizontal manner, they said 0.5 marks each for correct value and correct position. So if you are not in the correct position, and they say, here's the note, when the answer for this part question is given in a single line as like this, only the first value, 60, is considered as correct, right? So you knew everything, you just miss a 1 point, but you lose 1.5 marks, right? So be careful when you are addressing something like this. Okay, people, just confirm me whether you got it or not. Yes. Right, okay. How about others? Right, great. Right, thank you, Himandi. All right. Okay, so we are continuing, moving to the second question. Who have done the second question? Let me see. People who have tried the second question? Okay, right, Savi. Right. Since the question is talking about this malware and all these things, let's go through the note, because we have to discuss the last lesson. So since we got time, uh, we'll go through that particular part about the viruses, right? So let me take your grade 11 book, and I'll go through that, and we'll come back to this question, right? Okay, so yeah. Now, the viruses, in generally what you know as virus, we commonly name them as malwares, right? So like malwares means the softwares that do a harm or annoy you, right? We call it malwares or malicious softwares. Like there are different kinds of malicious softwares, but we generally tell these things as virus, and you will see virus is one of the malicious softwares, but there are many more malicious softwares in here, right? So why malicious softwares are there? Because the malicious softwares are created by the people who have a very great knowledge about the programming. Malware is again a program, but they use that they use their knowledge into a very unethical and illegal side to harm the computers or the computer networks by using their knowledge, right? Which is not really not a good thing, right? But there are precautions, and there are some shields are being made to get rid of these viruses and malwares when it arrive at our computer. So due to a malware, these things can be happen. Your, excuse me, people. Yeah. So your computer will get inefficient, right, or decrease your efficiency, right? Like it will improper, it will function improperly, right, and it will restart again and again, right? So without giving you a chance to do any work, right? So there is no one particular purpose or one particular thing that a malware is going to do. It can do many things. However, from those things, what we feel is either we get break, or we get like take off from our work, or else we are being annoyed or disturbed, right, without giving a chance to do a work, right? So decrease efficiency of the computer, and destruction of malfunction of software. So like yeah, basically it will attack your operating system, and you will see, like if you have the experience, it won't let you to operate, right? Sometimes when you open the program, it will get closed randomly or without like warning you. So all your workings will get disappear or deleted. Sometimes the machine will get restarted, and sometimes it won't give any like authorization or like give any access to the computer. Like very recently, there is a virus attack, right? It's a ransomware kind of a thing, where it locked the entire computer and will ask money to give the password to you people. So there are two options on such case. So like in the previous case, either the person who is owning that computer should pay for these hackers and take the password, or otherwise they have to reinstall, or like uh, reinstalling means like they have to clear the entire hard disk and they have to install things. So it's very dangerous and very annoying again. Inability to install other softwares, yeah, that can be happen, and weakening computer hardwares, right? How it can weaken the computer hardwares, because the malwares are able to run different kinds of processes in different kinds of level, right? Now, if we need to read something from the hard disk, our hard disk platter should rotate and the head should move through that platter to read the things, right? So a malware is able to run a program to rotate the hard disk platters in a very high frequency of, or like in a very big RPM, which will eventually harm the hard disk or burn the hard disk due to the improper like rotation, right? So likewise, then they can they can load lot of programs, lot of processes into the CPU, and ask it to do it again and again in a very speed manner. And again, CPU is going to get like the temperature of the CPU is increasing due to the heavy workload, so which will direct you to restart your computer or to shut down your computer, right? Because system unit always try to protect the CPU. So if it feels CPU temperature is going higher than the optimal level, then it will be like shut down or restart, right? Because fan වලට බැරි වෙනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට මේ මොනවාද cooling system එක වැඩ කරවන්න, right? So in that case it's going to be a problem, right? People, just give me a second, just a second. Yes, people. Viruses and malwares are something like that, and it do the destruction or malfunction in the software, and inability to install other softwares. It will cause that, and sabotage of computer networks. When if it enters to the computer network, it's going to make a disaster inside the computer network, right? And not just one computer, but many of the computers will get affected because it is network. So it's like නේද දැන් මේ දවස්වල තියෙන සිටුේෂන් එක වගේ නේද කොරෝනා හැදිච්ච එක්කෙනෙක්ට ගමකට දොර ඇරියොත් so he will like run through the village and everyone will get affected, something like that, right? So and again data theft and destruction. Your personal data can be stolen and can be destroyed, right? And reduction of storage capacity, and you will maybe you may have that particular experience specifically when it comes to the pen drives. If a pen drive is affected with a virus, uh, you can see nothing inside the pen drive, but you can't store anything in the pen drive. It says it's full, right? So it is due to a malware, right? So these kind of things will do the harms to your computer in this particular ways, and let's get to know what are those things, right? And first we are going to talk about the computer virus, the very known virus, right? So now virus is a program, right? It can spread rapidly, right? ඒක හරියට අපේ ඇඟට virus එකක් ආවා වගේ තමයි, right? අපේ ඇඟ ඇතුළට virus එක ආවම it will get affected, right? But there is a uh, uh, thing that the virus like virus should be executed, or it should be run by someone else to effect on a device, right? Again, virus එක නිකං computer එකට ඇවිල්ලා තිබ්බ කියලා computer එකට effect වෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? Like think that you got a virus in your pen drive, so you plug the pen drive and you have to open it. Some viruses will get open once the pen is open. ඒගොල්ලෝ ලියලා තියෙන මේ විදිහට pen එක open වෙනකොට virus එක execute වෙනවා, ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා, right? But not most of the things. And we have to execute it in any way, like either you are opening it with or without your knowledge, right? Or something should happen to execute, but when it executes we can't stop that, right? So then it will get executed in each and every time it can, and do the harmful things to your computer or to the computer system, right? So remember, it should get activated, or like it should get executed by the user to do this, right? And these viruses can be flown into your computer using the flash drives, external storage devices, as well as the memory chips, right? Through emails, right? There are many ways it can arrive at your computer. And what are the things that we can do to get prevent from these things? Basically, we can use antivirus software, and there are many different things which we are going to discuss a little later, right? And computer worms. Now, this one is not a very good malware, right? Because this particular worm can act by itself. It doesn't need to get executed like a virus, right? So you only need to open a door to your computer. Like if you just connect your USB, then it will spread into your computer. If you just open an email, it will get affected to your computer, right? And we call this ability is the self-replicating ability, right? So these worms are like majorly spreading through these email attachment, false websites, and instance messages like WhatsApp and Viber, right? So it will attack to the computer and will do the harmful things or the disturbance, like letting us not doing anything with the device. And this spyware, in other words, now a Trojan horse is the most popular spyware. There are many spywares, but Trojan horse is the most popular one. Why we call this a Trojan? Because of this Trojan horse story, right? I think you know about it. Let me recap. Like there was this city which is called Troy, and it was heavily guarded by their army. And the wording or the rumors or like the news was, no one can invade the city Troy because they are that strong, right? So as I remember, it was the Romans who need to attack to this particular city, but they tried in several times. They couldn't do the like they couldn't win the war, like with the Troy city. So what they had done is one day they have made a big wooden horse, right? It's a massive one, right? Like big as a house, right? Say they build a wooden horse and send it to the Troy city as a gift of peace, right? So by saying it is no point of having the wars between these between your city and our city. So let's stay in peace, and they have gifted it as a symbol to the Troy city. So like then the Troy people were like well released and amazed and was very happy to have this news, and they were celebrating it all the day, like in the night as well, right? So like when they celebrate it, they dismantled their army and everyone was celebrating, and they went to sleep at night. So then happens the real story. The horse, the wooden horse, was made to hide a Roman army inside it. So in at the night, they attacked it. They attacked the Troy city, and they could invade the Troy city, like after ages, and they could like break the norm, or like they break the word that this city cannot be invaded, right? So uh, that is the story of the Trojan horse, and why we call this particular malware a Trojan horse. The Trojan horse malware attacks the same way. It sends us something. It is been embedded into a genuine things like softwares which you are going to download from the internet, or some email attachments. So it seems to be a genuine thing, and when we are executing it, uh, like if you take a software setup as an instant, when we are executing it, we can see the software is also being installed, right? Because when our purpose is done, අපිට software එක install කරගන්න ඕන නම් software එකත් install වෙනවා. But meanwhile, it can spread the viruses, worms, and all these things into your computer with the program, right? So we are not getting the knowledge that this particular worm or virus is attacking to our computer during the installation of this software, but later we will be realized, okay, we have been attacked. So without knowing, right? Like the Trojan horse did, right? So that is why this is called a spyware, and a Trojan horse can spread many different things. As the last line, it says Trojan horse enter with an email attachment in most of the cases. However, unlike computer virus and worms, the Trojan horse does not spread by itself. Yeah, Trojan horse cannot be spread by itself, but once it's open, which is inside the Trojan horse, can be spread into your computer. So that can be a worm or a virus, right? Okay, so and adwares, this is something you have experienced, right? When you are visiting to some particular websites, and they will like pop up these things. Okay, you want this price, you want that price, and you have this thing, like type your name and all these things to do these kind of things, and at some point it will gain the access to your computer as well. So then even you close your browser, you will be having these advertisement, and like annoying you and disturbing you when you are doing your work. නේද? අපිට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට Windows 10 එක අපිට notification ගොඩාක් එන්න ගන්නවා ඒ විදිහට. Like when we are working, something pops up. And we have to close it and do it again, then again it pops up, right? So adware is not harming the computer, but it disturbs, right? In Trojan horse, it does the same thing in a lot of cases, right? And when it comes to the bots are kind of robots or like programs, right? Which will use to collect personal information through the internet messages and conversions. Like that means they're like when you and me is talking, it's like someone else is hearing what I'm saying, right? If it is a dual communication, like I am talking to one single person over the phone, or over some communication channel, a bot can hack that communication channel and take the details that we are the things we are communicating. Like when it comes to the communication, it's not just talking, right? When I'm sending some data to the some other point, it is also a communicating, right? So like think about the what the usernames, password, and all these things are sending from one place to another. Then over email account එකට log වෙන්න ගියාම you are giving your username and password on your computer. So then those username and password will be taken to the Gmail server. If you are having a Gmail account, it will taken to the Gmail server and will be compared. Is it the correct username and the relevant password that this user has entered? So then only you are given the authorization to access the particular email account. So if a bot is there in between, he or she can, or not he or she, that program can grab the details, which is your username and the password, which is not a good one, right? So bots are used to collect personal information through internet message and conversations. That's what it says at the last. This hijacker and browser hijacker. So basically, the hijacker, literally hijacker means so hijacker is capable of misdirecting a user to a different website through the internet, right? Again, we are trying to access our desired website, but hijacker is dividing us to something else, right? So like you can experience this in the internet when you are trying to download the songs from a lot of websites, right? If you're going to download these songs in most of the websites which provide these songs, when we click the song link, it will not directly give us the download link, or it will not directly download. It will open some other page or some other website. Maybe on that particular website has the facility to download the things, right? Or like it happens continuously when it is being affected by a hijack. සමහර වෙලාවට සමහර වෙබ්සයිට් ඒක මාකටිං පර්පස් එකට පාවිච්චි කරනවා. එතන ඒගොල්ලෝ hijack කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ they will not bother or they will not disturb the user continuously. සමහරලාට අපි song එකක් click කරාම it will be open in another website will be open and they will have a message, okay, click next to download your song, right? It is something called marketing. ඒකට තව website එකක් පෙන්නනවා, product එකක් පෙන්නනවා, right? It is being marketed. But when it comes to the hijacking part, it won't allow you to do that, right? ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට වෙනවා browser එකකට hijacker කෙනෙක් infect වුණාම අපි new tab එකක් ගන්න ගියොත් නිතරම එයා අලුත් website එකක් open කරනවා. අපි link එකක් click කරොත් අලුත් website එකක් open කරනවා. So that happens. So when that happens, that is hijacking, because it's disturb the thing or the work that we are doing, right? Okay. Then the phishing and the spams, you know, I'll show you what spam is. Phishing, again, it's going to be very deceiving thing, and it is very popular on the like in these days, right? So I'll show you an instant, like like meanwhile I'll tell you what Fisher is doing. So now Fisher will send you a message through the SMS or through the instance messaging like WhatsApp and Viber and all these things, or through an email, right? So through the message, what they are saying is this happens very much regarding this very much regarding the website which requires a username and password, which are the sensitive data, right? And they will send that particular message by saying, as an instant, if you take your internet banking site, like that is why I have loader internet banking site, which is Sampath Vishwa, regarding the Sampath Bank. And this Fisher what he is doing is he will send you an email message or a SMS or an instant message by saying your internet banking has been updated. Please visit and see. Please experience the new things inside your internet banking facility. So if you click it without thinking about the phishing or without the knowledge of the phishing, what Pisher will do is it will present you something very similar like your internet banking login interface. Right now here I have visited to the genuine address of Sampath Vishwa facility, which is sampathvishwa.com, right, which is given by this Sampath Bank website. But when we clicked on the Pisher's link, it will send us the very same interface, and we won't feel that it is a fraud thing or it is an ingenuine thing, right? So we just blindly, someone will enter his username and the password, and then click on the sign in. So then after, Fisher can send some message like this: username cannot be blank, or like it is incorrect or something. It will be some error will be there, like the errors that we have seen. But what has happened is now Fisher have your username and password because you have entered it. So that is the Fisher's web page. So Fisher will have those username and password. Then he can use that username and password to do anything regarding your internet banking, right? And so be very careful when you are using the internet banking. That is what they have said over here, right? In the interface, right? See, it says as an important message නේද? ඒක කියලා තියෙනවා links එවන්නේ නැහැ මේ website එකට එන්න කියලා bank එකකින් කීයටවත්. ඕගොල්ලෝ අනිවාර්යෙන් මේ website එකට ඇවිල්ලා through this particular URL, then give your username and passwords, right? So this is because the Fisher is doing the very same thing and collecting your username and password through the email message or SMS or through an instance message, right? So be very careful when you are clicking those things, right? Okay, then the spam. Now we know there is a spam folder in every email account, right? So I'll show you my spam as well. And again, why email is categorized as a spam mail? Because it is suspicious, සැකසහිත නිසා, right? And spam mails are generated I'll tell you why it is suspicious first. Because it is very big in size. That is why it is suspicious by the email service provider. So they don't send those spam mails to your inbox, because if it is sent to the inbox, you will open it directly. Because of this suspiciousness, because of the email is very large in size, it is sent to the spam mail. Now, making it large can be happen in different ways. It can be like the attachments are big in the email. So because of that, the size of the email can be big, right? Or maybe it is containing a malware. So what email is saying to you, if you don't know the sender, please don't open this thing. This is very suspicious, right? So that is why it is being sent to here. So if you really don't know about the people or the person who have sent this, you only need to delete this thing, right? And now the email marketing campaigns are very popular nowadays. So email when the organizations are doing email marketing, what they're doing is they create a very big brochure, it's kind of a graphic which is with very high resolutions, right? So eventually it will make the attachment heavier. So those kind of emails are also being sent to the spam. Now if you look at my spam emails, they are like Paradise Island Safari or something, Homeland's holding, medical trends today, or like it's the information they are trying to give, right? So because of their attachment, the marketing materials, this can be bigger, but we don't know, right? So because of that, we are not touching these things. So what I'm doing is I will delete them forever. So it will be deleted permanently from your computer. So like you don't need to open it and see, right? If you really don't know who the sender is, right? Okay, that's yeah, the story about this malwares, right, people? Do you got any questions regarding this? Is that clear to you all? How about it? Right, great. Right. And I'll jump to the question after like going through this safeguard scenarios, right? So you can install a virus guard to your computer, and installing a virus guard is not just sufficient. You have to update it as necessary, right? So like when a virus guard is saying it need to be updated, you should do it instantly. Because why virus guards are being updated? Because new viruses are being created, right? In most of the cases, right? So take a look around update එක ඒවල ඒ ගැන දැනුවත් කරලා තියෙනවා. තව app එකට දාලා update කිරීමත් එනවා, but in most of the cases the information will be updated. Okay, these kind of things are there. So it's better you update the virus software, virus guard, when you have installed it, right? And you have to be very careful when you're operating with the USB drives, when you are fixing it to the computer. It's better you scan it and open it, right? If you got a virus guard, it will scan automatically. Like by default, it is the way that a virus guard is being set up. But you can change that as well, but it's not a very good thing, right? And always use the authorized softwares, like the genuine ones, right? They can then අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට කරන දෙයක් නේ නේද? ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකට ගිහිල්ලා download කරගෙන crack software එකක් පාවිච්චි කරන එක. Like we really don't have that money to purchase each and every software that we need to use. But if you can, just go for the licensed software, which means you buy it. Otherwise, you find something similar in open source category, right? Because open source software are given by the manufacturer or the producer of that particular software, and it is free. And they won't give you any harmful things since it is given free for everyone, right? And again, be sure to use the softwares which are being used by a lot of people, right? හැමෝම පාවිච්චි කරන එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න බලන්න. මොකද ඒතර experience තියෙනවා. Even you are downloading a crack file or like pirate softwares from the internet, like go with the website like where that file has downloaded by a lot of people, right? මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝ වැරදි එකක් download කරොත් ටක් ගාලා ඒ download කරන කට්ටිය update කරනවා. Don't download this if the software is not working or it is not like giving what we are expecting or something, it will say. So හොඳම දේ පාවිච්චි කරන කෙනෙක්ගෙන් අහලා දැනගෙන එක්කෝ ඒ site එකට ගිහිල්ලා download කරන එක. නැත්නම් it's better you go for the genuine softwares, like if you pay and take, or just use the free and open source one, right? And again, last point is very important. Instead of administrator account, maintain a user account, right? So because when you have in the administrator account, if the hacker comes into your computer, he will gain the administrative powers. So which is a very big power, or like the biggest power that he can take in a computer, which is the administrative power. If you are in a guest account or a user account, he will have that authority only, not the administrative ones, right? So you can go with that. And if the computer is connected to the internet, it's better you access secure websites, like check your URL for verification, right? And select only secure websites for the download or software or other materials. How we can recognize a secure website? By using the HTTPS, right? Now, if you concentrate right over here, so the protocol is HTTPS. So HTTPS will assure you, that protocol will assure this particular website is secure. Otherwise, if you are visiting to some particular website, still it is saying it is harmful. You need to get sure before you visit it. Now, if you visit to my particular website, it will say it is not a secured one, because to have HTTPS, we should buy it. I have to pay and take, right? So this is not, they are saying it is not secure, but I am assuring you, I have not put anything harmful in here, so you can visit and see, right? So likewise, you have to get sure about what you are using, right? And be careful with opening that emails. When necessary, use virus guard before you download the attachment. So like when it comes to the Gmail, they scan the email and make it easier for us when we are downloading something, right? And you have to be very conscious and be very cautious when you are opening the emails. Like if it is a spam, if we really don't need anything from that, don't open it, just delete those things, right? So, and again, do not enter personal information without checking on security, right? So that's a very important one. Like if it is not a secure website, please do not give your username and password, right? And again, specifically the credit card numbers, if it is not a secure way. That is why when we are paying things, like when we are paying electronically in the web, we use the services like PayPal, right? Because PayPal assure us on behalf of us, our details will be secured by them. Right? The PayPal service එකතු වෙලා වැඩ කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ අපිට assurance එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ අපේ details protect කරනවා කියන එක. Right? And use firewalls, virus guard, and email filters, and all these things to have the protection, right? So the list is about the what you call the virus guards, and there is a saying: prevention is better than cure. It is always better than cure, right? So have a virus guard and keep it up to date. And people, there is one another thing that when it comes to the virus guard, you are used to do. Now, if you, when you are having Windows operating system, a genuine Windows operating system itself provide you a virus guard, which is called the Windows Defender, right? So this is made, or like this comes with the operating system. If you got Windows here, you will be having Windows Defender, right? එතකොට මෙයාව අප්ඩේට් කරලා තියාගත්තම අපිට අමුතුවෙන් තව වෛරස් ගාඩ්ස් මේකට දාගන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ, right? We just update it and keep it, so it will work very fine with the with all these things, right? සමහර අයගේ මතයක් තියෙනවා නේද, Kaspersky තමයි හොඳ මේක, ESET තමයි හොඳ මේක. There will be extra features, but the core features will be there in each and every virus guard, right? Which is the protecting the computer, right? So have it have a virus guard with gives you the security. Like you don't need it doesn't need to be a complex one or a popular one, right? Geetak, hold on, you are asking a question. Yes, Geetaka. So Geetaka is asking about downloading some game which cost him like 10,000 bucks, right? Yeah, it is again, Geetaka, it is saving the money. And as I told you, if you are download it from a very popular website. Crack download karana popular websites, right? So they are giving it, they are like giving it for free, and lot are being downloaded from that point. So it can like we can have this peace of mind that we are not being download any virus or anything, right? ඒක නිසා ඒ ගැන ටිකක් හොයලා බලලා නේද virus scan එකෙන් scan කරාම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් virus එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒගොල්ලෝ crack කරනවා, right? Generally they do it, right? But be careful, right? ඒක නිසා අර අපි නිතරම කියන්නේ නේද backups තියාගන්න එක වටිනවා. Like if you got something very important, keep a backup, right? Okay, so people, I'm jumping to the paper again. So it's discuss about the descriptions of different malwares labeled with letters A to D. I'm going to clear out these red things, otherwise the question is not clear. A list of different malwares are given in the first and the second column of the following label respectively. So we are asked to match. So represent itself as harmless and enters without the knowledge of user and then could steal or delete data, right? So this is something called spyware, right? So A is spyware, right? And collect information about bank accounts or electronic accounts using email and steal cash deposit by deceiving the user. This is what you call phishing. Unauthorized email either related to advertisement about a product of or from unknown person, collect email address and they are used unlawfully. Yeah, we can take it as a spam. Right, are capable of acting and spreading along using email attachment, false website and instance messages, which we call a computer worm. Right, so like the marking scheme said, yeah, so spyware for A, phishing for B, spam for C, and computer worm for D, right? So 0.5 will be given for each and every correct answer. And the next thing is about how to reduce this e-waste. It is about e-waste. So when it comes to the e-waste, you can use the 3R concept, right? So the 3R concept means you can reduce of using the electronic devices, which will eventually reduce the e-waste, and you can reuse, right? Reusing means what? You can buy an electronic device which has used by someone else, right? If it meets your requirements. So you are not buying a new one. That means the production of a new item will be get lowered. So eventually it will lower the e-waste, right? And the third one is recycle. So recycling is happens due to the due to like inactiveness or inoperability of an electronic device. If it is broke, right? So we can't use it anymore. We can't refurbish it. So we have to throw it away. So like when you are throwing it away, don't throw to your like general garbage bucket, right? Just give it to the place where it recycle the e-waste, right? In Sri Lanka, it is very hard to find the places who do the e-waste. So we just hand them over to the municipal council and all these things, and they will do it. They will take in out a process to maintain those e-waste. But there are places in the world where they buy the e-waste and recycle it and take it back to the producer or the manufacturer, right? Then those manufacturers can use those things as the raw materials to create new things, right? So you can maintain, you can reduce the e-waste, or like you can manage the e-waste by using this 3R concept, which is called reduce, reuse, and recycle, right? Now, in your question, they are asking write down 2 methods for the proper disposal of electronic waste. Now, proper disposal is not taking the concept which goes with the recycle. It is only the reuse concept that they are talking about, right? So as the what the question explains, right? So like they're asking disposing things, so you can reuse and recycle, right? So yeah, I'm sorry, it's reuse and recycle, not reduce, because they're asking about the disposing, right? So reducing is you are using again, right? So ඒගොල්ලෝ අහන්නේ බැහැර කරන විදිහ, reduce කියන්නේ dispose කරන විදිහ. So it's going to be recycle. Hold on my people. Yeah. Sorry, I'm mixing up the things. Right? It is reuse and recycle. Right? මොකද dispose කරන විදිහ ගැනනේ අහන්නේ. So මං ගාව තියෙන එකක් තව එක්කෙනෙකුට දෙනවා. So I am disposing mine. So it is onto the concept of reducing. And I am giving it to the recycle. It is a concept of disposing the things. But reducing කියලා අපි කතා කරන්නේ පාවිච්චි කරන එක අඩු කරනවා කියන්නේ. ඒක dispose කරන විදිහක් නෙවෙයි. අපෙන් අයින් කරන විදිහක් නෙවෙයි. Right? So reduce will not get the marks, but only reuse and recycle. Right? Okay, so moving forward. They are asking any three correct. Yeah. So they are asking about the remedies that we can take against these problems, or like the incorrect postures. Right? Write down 3 recommended. Yeah, Himanadi will try our best to do it, Dua. Right? Yeah, Himanadi was suggesting about the 2020 paper, which is given by the Western Province. We'll try our best to do that after discussing these things, right? So they are asking, write down 3 recommended correct postures a user should adapt to order to minimize the adverse effect, such as computer vision syndrome, CVS, carpal tunnel syndrome, CTS, repetitive stress injury, RSI. So let me recap the things, right? අපි මේක එක දවසකුත් කතා කරා health issues ටික ගැන, right? So you can have musculoskeletal problems because of the incorrect posture, the pains at the back and the neck as well, right? And RSI, repetitive stress injuries, which happens due to the incorrect posture, and as well as like being with the computer for a long time, right? So it will give you these swellings along the shoulder, at the back of the neck, at the back, as well as on your hands, right? And carpal tunnel syndrome, so like using the keyboard and the mouse in an incorrect way, so it will have a extra pressure on your wrist if you put your hand in the improper way. Like if you're not resting your arm, this will happen. So there will be problems to the nerves as well as to the muscles around the wrist, right? And CVS, computer vision syndrome, which happens due to you are staring at the computer monitor for a long time. So you have to relax your eyes when you are doing work with the computer, and your computer screen should be lower than your eye level to get rid of this. And you can use some protective specs or spectacles when you are working with the computer, right? And the causes, or like the injuries that this can cause is the dry eyes, redness in eyes, blurred vision, right? Even the headaches and all these things, like it is directly connected with the eyes, the headaches and all these things can be caused, right? And the stress also, because the technology is being developed. Organizations are expecting more from its employees. They think when the employees are having a computer, they can work like robots. So they like giving heavy workload to the people. So, and again, they are getting stressed because of the workload as well as working with the computer. right? So in the question, they are asking what are the things that you can take to get rid of these things, like, so we can say correct eye level, eye at the correct distance from the screen, right? Vertical position of legs to have the correct posture, right? And the straight wrist straight with keyboards, and straight shoulders to get rid of CTS, right? And straight back, and have a straight head. So any reason from these, you can have marks, right? So they are given 3 marks for that, right? 1 mark for each correct uh, answer. So you should write 3 things, right? And again, if you are mentioning about inches, you have to give the correct range. නැත්තම් කියන්න proper distance එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා, right? Then you don't need to specify what is the inch level. Otherwise you have to specify, right? Okay, so and the next part is about this manager who is giving away the details of the people of a company which is highly reputed uh, to the charity service, uh, to have a discussion with them and have some donation to their charity services. So the intention is good of the manager, because manager knows about the companies which has a very high profile, so very doing the leading businesses, so they got money, and he knows the charity service as well. So he sees, okay, if I introduce this particular organizations to the charity service by giving them the emails and asking the charity service to send the email and ask for fundraising, so they will be having benefits out of it. But even though the intention is good, what he is doing is not ethical, because he is not asking from the company the permission to give their details to a third party, right? So it can be considered as a what we call an unethical thing due to that reason, right? So the answer is said like this: one of these, like providing confidential data to third party or without permissioning, providing data without permissioning, or violating privacy. So that is the reason why it is said as an unethical one, right? And the last part is talking about take backups of the data and keep backup at a different geographical location. This is due to that data loss which has happened to that company, right? They have like the computer hardware in an office are completely destroyed by a fire. So result, some important data in storage device have been lost forever. So they were asking what were the steps that they would have taken to protect these data, right? They could have a backup, right? But that backup should be taken to a different geographical place. Otherwise, it will get burned with if the backup is in the same place, right? So in your answer, it should say backup and place it in a different geographical place. Or otherwise, you can say backing it up to a cloud, some storage like a cloud storage. So cloud is somewhere else, and they are providing the service towards us, right? So that takes 2 marks for you, and like summing up summing up 10 marks for that question, right? Okay, so yeah, people, I have to excuse you from all because I have to attend to a Guru Vedara program at 9. So I have to get ready for that. So I need the time to that. So I'm ending up the session today from this particular point by 8:20. I'm going to cover up that 10 minutes by next week, right? So please excuse me, right? Let your parents know that I have end up the session before 10 minutes, right? So we'll cover this up by next week and get ready with the 2015 paper as well. We are going to finish up this and discuss in the 2015 one. Meanwhile, if we got theory parts in the last question, in the last lesson, we are going to discuss that as well, right? Okay, people, I have to run, and thank you very much. Yeah, yes, it's true. It's for grade 9 and A level lessons, Puta, because I was given the schedule on that manner. So not for the O levels, but there are teachers who are doing that O levels and O level lessons as well, which is a very good one. Just see and have some extra knowledge. They are just doing it in a very dedicated way. So just go through. Okay, I have to run, people. I'll see you on next Sunday for the very same time, right? Thank you very much for participating. We are doing extra 10 minutes by next week, right? Thank you very much, people. Have a nice weekend, right?
Thank you, sir.
Right, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.